Yo, yo,
Oh
yo, yo,
shit.
yo.
I wonder
Hello,
how many times
breadheads.
I wonder how many times we've said yo in the intro. I think that's a
hmm
recurring theme. It really gets me lubed up and ready to talk sandwich with you.
It is the way that I stretch my jaw before biting into an episode like this.
hmm
Dude, Subway's the footlong Olympics. Like people doing stretches in line. They're like touching their toes. I'm like
hmm
unhinging my jaw. I'm putting tongue on the roof of my mouth. The ordering process. I hate to go into a rant right off the rip on an episode, but Subway is brilliant for making the ordering process so vocal because you actually like get your tongue stretchies in before you take on that gargantuan sandwich. Like it's a really nice kind of symbiosis with the ordering and eating process of stretching that
hmm
other fast food restaurants don't have, nor do they need, because you're just not mouthing any food that big. It's like the, it's like if the elephant is the largest animal on the safari, the footlong is the largest food in the fast food like kingdom.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I just think about like, those cursed like burger restaurants that like get off on offering a burger that's like impossible to consume and then like
hmm
saying it'll be free if you finish it or like putting your photo up on a wall, kind of like burger heaven. like
Dude,
like over in your area, dude, that place fucking, it stinks and it rocks at the same time.
yeah, every municipality has the neckbeard burger, which is like some dorky dude wants to tackle this like 30 patty leaning tower of pizza sandwich.
hmm
And you get like a pen, you get a photo, you get a picture with the owner if you can consume that. And Subway is dishing one of those every 6 minutes.
You're absolutely right, Ty. It's pretty crazy because like the people who go to Subway never stretch. They don't do any kind of physical activity, Ty. All they
Mm.
do is walk into the way, order, and stretch their pockets. Maybe they're definitely stretching their dollar because
hmm
you get a good value over there at the way. But
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
I politely disagree, though. I think that the average patron of Subway is more limber than we're giving them credit for. Yes, we can assume they're overweight, but we cannot assume that they don't have a physically active day because I would assume that this persona that goes to Subway has a few other traits. They probably take public transit, which usually burns more calories than what I do, which is I drive everywhere. They probably have a blue collar job. They're either swinging a hammer or taking tires off of a vehicle all day. I'm not doing any of that. I sit on my couch and I podcast. So they're burning more calories per minute than I probably am. And I'd say that as a result of that, a
Mhm.
byproduct, fairly good stretchers.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. To be honest, I was talking about this last night with someone
Cool.
else, and and I had this like kind of like dark realization, Ty. I think that like our generation is going to have a shorter lifespan than those before it. And I think it's all this technology that we are forced to consume. I don't know about you, but when I stare at a screen all day, I just like look up from the screen at 5 p.m. and I think, holy shit, like where was I for the last 8 hours? Like I just kind of like was in this limbo period. And the amount of like brain power that I have to exude to talk to you on this pod and also do my day-to-day job, I feel like that's like wearing me down slowly, you know?
Mm, yeah, I can agree with that, Eric. I read this article online. I might have mentioned it on pod a while ago, but apparently master chess players, chess grandmasters is what they are called. Um, they burn like a shit ton of calories when they're eating because they're thinking, or when they're not when they're eating, when they're playing, because they're thinking so hard, right? And that's what we do.
hmm
That's what we do. We think fresh.
You
So this
absolutely do.
podcasting booth, this is my gym.
Yeah, think fresh, die young. Bad pods do it well.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's a sick
Ah,
title, bro. Think fresh, die young. Holy
think
fuck.
fresh, die
That's the
young.
most
Dude, I'm good.
hardcore thing any podcast has ever said.
If we make another 10 bands off blenders on this podcast, I'll get that tattooed on my forearm.
I would love for you to do that. And breadheads, in order for us to make that happen, buy the blender from blendjet.com. And
Use the code.
actually, don't use the code. Use the
Don't use
link
the
in our
code.
description.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure we get that commish. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Give your boys a little bit of commish.
Mm-hmm. Turns out codes do nothing. We need you to click the link.
Yeah, click the link. This is an this is a text-based podcast now, and we're gonna require you to click the link in our description to purchase a blender. And
I
summer's coming up. You probably have a wedding in your life. Buy a blender because people who get married need home things because they're going to be moving in with their new partner.
mm-hmm, it's true. Summer lovers. Uh,
Yeah,
I I don't want to go down a affiliate marketing rabbit hole with you because I doubt the listeners care about that. But I do want to
definitely not.
say that it's absolutely ludicrous that any affiliate marketer would expect a audio based medium to sell things through a link. What link? You're listening, like, what are we gonna put a link in your AirPod Pros right now, you, the listener? How are you clicking a link? You're probably on public transit heading to the auto body shop to
Hmm.
work,
I'm
not to pick up your car.
Yeah, exactly. I got 200 on the dash going fucking way over the speed limit on the I-5. You think I'm going to pull out my
Mhm.
iPhone and click on this fucking link right now? I'm going to
Uh,
crash this I-8 into the wall. Um, but you're right, Ty. I can't believe that word of mouth is an unacceptable means of selling through a podcast. Can you believe that?
dude, this is a word of mouth. All podcasts are word of mouth.
Oh.
Absolutely insane. So the boomers
Mhm.
working at all of these online marketing companies need to wisen up to the media that they're working with. I
Mhm.
digress. Eric, I really
We need
wanted
to
to
get that
talk
off of
to
our chest.
yeah, I just needed to I feel so much better, honestly, using my audience to vent. Thank you.
You feel like this is like a Kanye West rant, like mid performance, being like, "Guys, I need to talk to you about Trump right now.
Yeah,
This
I
can't
can't be
wait."
managed. Oh, man. I'm sure Kanye right now has so many like pent up problems with things, but no platform to share them.
Hmm.
It'll. I hope he channels it into music because I just want to hear a whole album where every track is like venting about, like every 30 seconds is a different issue he's encountered over the last year of being suppressed. And I don't even care about
Hmm.
the big issues. I want to hear about how he's like getting still cut off on the 405 or like, I don't know, maybe his kids were a little judgmental of him or something, you know?
Yeah, yeah, totally. I want to hear more about his girl problems because I think
Hmm.
that's like the most entertaining version of Kanye we ever got. Like as soon as like the
Hmm.
Kim shit was kind of going downhill, like the music just got better and better, peaking with
Hmm.
Donda.
Hmm.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I totally agree. I think it's because the job of a woman in a man's life is to round, like, shave the edges off that make him hard, you know? The job of a woman is to not make a man hard, it's to make a man soft.
Absolutely right, Ty. And speaking of shaving, they need to be shaving down some mortadella and making us a sandwich.
Hell yeah, buddy. Wait,
That's what's
that's
up.
a that's really funny. We actually don't support misogynistic stereotypes on this podcast. Men can be sandwich artists too. I actually like making my partner sandwiches. It's an act of service, a love language. And I think I
Hmm.
just make them better sometimes because I like to, I like
Oh,
to get the
100%.
a good sauce spreadage edge to edge on the bread,
Hmm.
perfectly toasted, obviously. And
Hmm.
I'm a
Hmm.
layering king, you see. Make sure everything is like perfectly touching, no overlap, nothing coming out the edges. It's a very cubic sandwich, a Rubik's cube of sorts.
Yeah, you're in your Picasso Cubism era. Um, but I think you're right, Ty. I think that's the most unfortunate stereotype about women is that
Hmm.
they should be making us sandwiches or some shit. I don't agree with that. I think men make the best sandwiches. All the best at a Subway were made by men because
Hmm.
they know exactly how much meat to put on. And like you said,
Mm.
they're caring. Um, I think like as men, we like to eat in excess. Like the
Mhm.
more ingredients something has, the better. Like the more
Mhm.
salami you throw down, the more cheese you layer on your pizza. It's like these things just get us excited, and only like men will understand that, I think.
Dude, you're 100% right. Like the diet of the modern man is very maximalist, and I think this is also we can attribute this to the fall of fine dining because those small plates don't
Hmm.
appeal to like my boys are getting their
Bullshit.
bags up and they're looking to like eat as much as they can. And I don't care if it's
Hmm.
7 courses. There's only one scallop on the plate.
Yeah, dude, that shit drives me absolutely nuts when places insist that you go for the prefixed menu. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, it's 8 courses, but don't worry, like it's we'll bring it out at the exact right time, and it never happens that way. It's always like I eat the scallop in a single bite, and then I have to wait 10 minutes to receive my preemie. It's bullshit.
Mhm. Honestly, I think prefixed menus would be better if they didn't tell you how many courses they were, but described it to you in number of bites. Say like, oh yeah, this is about a 15 bite course, or like 15 bite menu, or an 8 bite menu. Like, because then I
Hmm.
know like, okay, you're gonna stretch 8 bites over an hour and a half. Like,
Hmm.
we should be able to pick that up.
Yeah, that's an interesting observation. And you're making me think of those 2 bite brownies that were
Hmm.
ever so popular when we were kids. And it always made me feel like a man because I would like eat it in one bite. I'm like, yeah,
Hmm.
I can eat a 2 bite brownie in one bite, and I'm only 9.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Who am I gonna grow up to be?
I know. I'm
Incredible.
setting myself up for success here. Um, but Ty, I want to talk to you a bit about my Whistler vacation that I just got back
Mm,
from on Saturday. I had 2 nights stay in the epic Fairmont Gold Room.
hell yeah.
Very epic. I want to talk to you about all the food I ate for free and all the like random silly little requests I made to the concierge that was included in my room.
As you should, as a gold room member. A gold member?
Absolutely, Ty. I am a gold member. If Subway had like a tiered loyalty program, I feel like gold member would be like somewhere near the top. It's like golden
Yeah.
brown bread, something like that.
Yeah. Green would be obviously the entry tier, and you get like a little green subway badge. Um,
Hmm.
Rouge, tomato rouge, is probably pretty high up there.
Yeah, rouge is nice. I like that.
Hmm.
Green, it's kind of like in the army as well. Like you start out green, you're like the green person. That's like a thing, right? Like the very, very bottom of the barrel, bottom of the bucket.
Hmm. Hmm. Top tier is probably it has to be gold of some sort, but there's only two gold things at Subway. There's the yellow cheddar, which when it has that nice sweaty glaze, glimmers like gold. And then
Hmm.
there's a perfectly toasted slice of Italian. And it gets that like marshmallow tint on it when it comes out.
Oh, absolutely stunning. Um, I would love for like, the top tier Subway clientele, the top 1%, the top inch to get like a diamond encrusted like gold baguette necklace or something. I think that'd be a nice touch.
It's like what Connie says, my diamond encrusted loaf.
Yeah. Um, exactly. So I want to talk to you a bit about my stay, Ty. First of all, with this gold room, this is something I learned like immediately after check-in when they kind of like onboarded us to the whole thing. Private check-in, I should say, Ty. There's a separate
Mhm.
concierge desk on the 8th floor for clients such as myself.
Dude,
Um,
you're already on the 8th floor and you haven't even checked in yet? Gee,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, just head on
Mile
up,
High
sir.
Club.
um, yeah, literally the Mile High Club. And what was nice about that, Ty, is after checking in, they like onboarded us to everything and said like, "Oh yeah, by the way, in the lounge, which is exclusive to Gold, the Gold Familia, such as yourself,
Hmm.
we're currently serving finger sandwiches."
finger sandwiches.
Absolutely, Ty. And this was by far the best perk of the entire stay because like we would just like go into the lounge at any hour of the day
Mhm.
and eat so much food for free. We would just like walk over to the table, pick up like they would have like four different types of finger sandwiches, one being a croissant, bread base, another one being
Mm.
like a little slider type. Um,
Dude, the finger
grab in.
sandwiches are funny. It's like only both only high tea and Subway are willing to try to name their sandwich after some bodily extremity.
Finger foot long. Um, yeah, it's interesting. So, what about the finger makes it like really small? You know what I mean? Is it because you can only pick it up with two fingers? Or it's like you can pick it up with two fingers? I can pick up
Yeah,
a
like, if
football
you
with two fingers.
think about it this way, like, this is finger food, right? Delicate little bites, 2-bite sandwiches, as opposed to a full
Hmm.
handwich, which takes the palm and all maybe even both hands to take a bite of. So I think they're trying to disassociate with the handwich.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. And Tyler's place had like a, you might be wondering, like, what about the alcohol? And this is kind of
What I
interesting.
was.
Alcohol was like, it was on an honor system. So you had to like, every, beside like the beer section or the wine section, they had like all kinds of shit, just like corked and ready to go. But
Mm.
there would be like a little notepad where you write down your room number and like what you got. And if you want to leave a tip, and that's it. And you just like put that in a little jar. And I looked around, Ty, there's no cameras. There's like there's staff coming in and out, right? No one's really like explicitly watching you. So I took a little beer for myself. I didn't pay for it.
Wow, a cheeky Peroni. Well,
Yeah,
you
dude, you
probably
can
pay
take.
for it in other ways. It's built into the
Yeah, that's
cost of
true.
the gold room membership.
Yeah, I mean, you can think of it as a loss leader, kind of, kind of like
Mhm.
the, kind of like
Costco
the,
chicken.
it's a loss leader, much like the veggie patty tie. We need to
Mhm.
appease our vegetarian audience,
Yeah.
but no one really wants that.
Dude, they're not making money off the veggie patty. Those things every veggie patty in Subway is at least 4 months old.
Absolutely.
They're not
Yeah, they
moving.
pay more in refrigeration fees than
Mhm.
what they're able to make selling those things. Um, but yeah, Ty, this place was great. I just like can't say enough of good things about it. We had so much food that we like couldn't really eat outside of the hotel. Like the
Mm.
first day we went absolutely buck wild on finger sandwiches
Mhm.
promptly after checking in that we were so full for dinner, we just like ordered like one thing, and I ordered one thing. They got the fucking prefix menu, which had like
Dude,
5 courses, and I was like, "Damn, babe, you crazy for that one." But um, yeah, we just kind of sat around like playing with our lobster linguine.
I love it when I accidentally end up in an accidental all-inclusive type situation, which seems like to be the scenario you ran into, but it can throw
Mhm.
a little bit of a kink in the whole trip because once you realize you have access to free unlimited food, it's pretty enticing to make that the entire vacation. Harder to go visit the
Mhm.
Michelin star restaurants you had on the save to Google Maps.
Yeah. I mean, even the concierge was like, let us know if you have any reservation requests. We'll be happy to help you out with that. I just
Mm.
like laughed and said, Where where's the finger sandwiches?
That's amazing,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
What time's breakfast?
I'm flying out to Playa del Carmen tomorrow morning, and I'm hitting an
Oh yeah,
all-inclusive
honey.
resort for the next 5 days. So I'm very excited to report back on the breadheads on more fingerling sandwiches or other types of unlimited food. We're talking pina
Hmm.
coladas. We're talking quesadillas. We're talking guac, guac, guac. I love free
Hmm.
guac, baby.
Hmm. That's right. Ty won't be using the provided tongs. He'll just be
Nope.
reaching in with his fingers because they are finger sandwiches after all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The fingers are God's tongs.
They are God's tongs, and like if I'm touching the same tong as everyone else, like how is that better than just reaching and grabbing my own sandwich, right? It's like
Yeah.
we're trying to be like proper here and like not spread germs, but No one's using the provided Le Labo hand sanitizer. Everyone's just reaching with their own God's tongs. And, you know, the first time I was frequenting it, I was just going straight to the mouth. I wasn't even putting it on the plate. I was just eating from this table.
Dude, plates are
Full
overrated. Your hand is God's plate. But
exactly.
in theory, if you are all civil, hands straight in the bucket is a more hygienic move than the communal tong because you only make physical contact with the thing that you consume. You touch nothing else. If everyone did that, everyone would only consume their own germs. So,
Hmm.
who's breaking the rules here? Who's touching a few different Sammys trying to squeeze to find the ripest one for them? Like, I know that's you in the produce
Absolutely.
section, but is that you at the buffet?
Oh man, maybe. I mean, I'm touching all the peaches at the produce section, making sure that's the right one. Um, yeah, bruised and all. But yeah,
This is entirely the reason there even needs to be an intermediary at Subway, an artist between you and the produce, because people would just be digging deep in that cucumber bucket looking for the thickest, crunchiest slice to add to their sandwich. They wouldn't care. They'd be touching everything, moving it
hmm,
around, digging.
that's a great point. You know what, Ty? This, how come we have never talked about this? There are no tongs at Subway. Like the artist is like going like fist first into the tomato to get you like the
Mhm.
perfect slice, which I guess works because one, he's wearing gloves, but I mean, like, I don't really know if I want like the visual of someone's hands like touching these ingredients. You know what I mean?
I
Especially because
know.
it's my food.
Whether they're gloved up or not, you can still see, like, how dirty their nails are underneath. It's like, oh, you didn't
Yeah.
wash your hands, but at least you wore a glove. Like, I'm
Hmm.
not gonna get any
Absolutely.
sandwich transmitted diseases from this, STDs.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that thin layer of plastic. You know what I mean? Like, we already know that glove plastic is not as good as like condom plastic. Like, we need like that level of security to
Yeah.
protect our mouths from STDs.
Dude, if there was a freaking Durex logo on the box of plastic gloves, I would have so much more confident in my artist going at it in those
Hmm.
buckets.
Hmm. I would too. Um, One other thing I want to talk about. This place had a fine selection of baked goods as well, some croissant action, and I was being a little bit of a stinker one morning, Ty. I was like
Mm,
really lazy and I wasn't really ready to get out of bed at 10 a.m. I was just like way too sleepy. I wanted to kind of just be like nested in, um, cozy up by the fireplace in our hotel room. So Bay was kind of like egging me on, saying like, "Let's go. We're gonna miss breakfast. We have to get there before 10:30." Okay, fine, let's go. And then she's like so excited to have the almond croissants, which she saw on display as she kind of like took a peek earlier in the day. And so we go, and there's no more almond croissants, right? It's all gone. And
oh,
thankfully, the staff at this place is so attentive that they always come by and like check on you while you're eating, saying like, "You got everything you need," blah blah. And Bay was so salty that she didn't have any almond croissants that she mentioned it to our staff. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that," blah blah blah. A few minutes go by. He comes back and is like, "I've just spoken to our baker. They're willing to make you some almond croissants right now."
no. Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Personal baker. She went Karen, and then for some reason they were Karen about her.
Exactly. She went full Karen mode, and I was like embarrassed. I was like, "Babe, this we're not rich enough to be here. Like, keep that to yourself." And then
Yeah,
all of a
eat your
sudden,
pride.
this guy says, and she's like, "Oh, really?" And then this guy's like, "All I need to know is how many." And then I'm like, "Oh, I guess like two." And then my bae just jumps in and says, "We'll take five."
Wow.
Yeah,
Dude,
dude. So this guy brings back a platter of five croissants to our room,
no. Holy
personally
shit, that's
delivered.
great service. Yo,
Hmm.
that's crazy to get the blank check, but it's number of almond croissants. Like, I don't even know
I
if they
know.
said pick a number. I don't know where my head would go. I'd be going anywhere between 2 and 200. Like, what's appropriate to even say?
I have no clue. But Bay was thinking smart because she knew we had a long drive ahead of us and was like,
Mhm.
I'm going to pack some for the road. and we were munching on almond croissants the entire drive back. It was awesome, dude.
An odd number is an interesting move. She like knew she was gonna get one extra for her and not you.
Yeah, I know exactly. I think it's because we grabbed like three plain croissants because that was all that was left. So add
Mm.
five more, that's eight. That's already excessive.
Dude, that's so many croissants. I love that for you though.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really fun. Honestly, this place could not be better. Service was 10 out of 10.
That's amazing. I hope that my upcoming trip has a similar degree of service. I doubt it will because I don't have the balls to ask for five croissants. I would have just accepted the fate of my breakfast.
Hmm. Yeah, I know. The thing is, this guy came and asked like several times if we had everything we needed, and eventually you just crack and you say, "No,
Mhm.
I'm not okay." I need to speak to my therapist.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
Cracking
man.
under interrogation.
Hmm. Yeah, dude. Um, this is my first time also having a private driver. A nice
Oh,
little perk.
nice.
Yeah, we parked the whip downstairs for a steep $40 a night. And we said, you know what, we're not moving that fucking car. So we like talked to the concierge, and they're like, oh yeah, well, it's included. We'll just drive you wherever. And then you just
Oh,
like
that's great.
call us and you get a free ride back. I mean, I think once Uber fucking gentrifies Whistler, that might not be a thing anymore, but we
Mhm.
did get a free ride, all over the place, which was nice.
It's a fantastic feature of a hotel.
Hmm.
Hoteling has fallen so far from the good graces of God that you wouldn't expect that anything like that anymore. Like
Hmm.
it's like self check in and um,
Hmm.
like you make your own bed before you leave. Like Airbnb is ruining hotel expectations, but I want to hold our hotels to a high bar. I think everyone should have a courtesy
Hmm.
car.
Hmm.
I love that feature. Do you know what
100%.
car it was? Just curious.
Yeah, it was a GMC Yukon. It wasn't a
Mm,
Suburban, which would have been my first choice, but it was,
yeah,
the smaller one. But it was a top of the line model, of course, with Fairmont branding in the back window.
cool, cool. I was gonna guess suburban. Yukon's more appropriate for a alpine town, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. If anything, it's more on brand, which I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate.
Mm-hmm. It's all in the
Wow, cool.
details.
Yeah, yeah. I did feel
Well,
like I
that's
was in
amazing,
Mexico
man.
Ty because I was throwing around tip money for no reason. I
Oh yeah.
was like, damn, do people even tip here like that? But I was like, I felt
What do you?
compelled to. I was like, free chauffeur, free food. I'm like, I got to tip a little bit. I even stole a beer.
I mean, you're not like Apple Pay tapping on the driver's Square reader. So, are you throwing Canadian toonies at him? You minimum $5, I guess. Hey.
Oh, minimum fivers. I'm like, hey, buddy, this is for you. It's the best feeling in the world, Ty, when most of the trip is free, and so you're able to tip like really well. You just feel like a total boss, especially when you
Mm-hmm.
like the person who's like helping you out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Croissant guy, um, Yukon guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. All these supporting characters.
I know. I completed a lot of side quests in Whistler, and happy to say I've achieved 10th prestige at the Fairmont.
Damn.
Hell yeah, dude.
Fairmont does a app program with loyalty points that earns you some pretty good perks. You should make sure you accredit your room to that. This is not a sponsored Fairmont episode, by the way. I'm just saying, like, I'm a frequent stayer, and the point program is pretty good.
Oh, I know. I learned about it afterwards, so I'm gonna have to retroactively apply those points, Ty, because you're right. I want this kind of treatment every time I go.
Hell yeah, I'm sure concierge will help you out with that.
They've been able to do everything else for us, literally. Like within like 5 seconds of like laying down on the bed, I called them and I was like, because we brought a bottle of wine from Vancouver, which I think is like the move. Always bring a bottle of wine with you when you go to a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we like immediately called them. And we're like, oh fuck, can you bring us a bucket of ice? And then like the same woman that checked us in walked over like 5 seconds later with a bucket of ice. I was like, this is awesome. It's just like perfect.
Damn.
I was like off to such a good start.
Yeah, dude. The opening play is cracking a bottle. I'm here for that.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Cracking a
Wow.
bottle we even brought one of the tiny little Le Labo candles, like from the
Mm.
sampler set. So tiny little Labo candle, bottle of rosé on ice. Love is Blind was streaming on the TV. It was just the most fantastic weekend.
Wow, you really like leaned into the romance, and I think that's great. A romantic at heart. That's my move too, though. Roll up with the wine. I usually do tea lights because you can create ambience throughout the room, not just centralized to wherever your lavabo smoking up. Um, and
Yeah, it's smart.
I used to carry like a little portable speaker too to like play some soft jazz to unwind to while you like unpack your bag. But I don't know. Hotel speakers have gotten so much more both like easy to connect to and better quality that
Hmm.
you don't really need that anymore.
Hmm.
I want the
Yeah,
aux cord
totally.
at Subway when I walk in. That's what I want. Subway, take sandwich artists take note to everything we're talking about. Your service could definitely be
Hmm.
improved.
Hmm. Yeah, dude. If they can claim artistry over making a footlong, then this was really like service artistry. Like I've never
Mm-hmm.
seen service be like so artistic. You know what I mean? I think it was like just reached a different level this weekend.
Mm-hmm. It's very inspiring to see people thinking through what they do.
Hmm. Unlike us, Ty, we just hop on the
Mhm.
mic and you know, I lit up a cigarette earlier just to get in the
Hell yeah,
mood, and now we're cruising.
for sure. It's definitely a autopilot type podcast. So much so that we might as well be AI generated hosts. But
Whoa, the AI is now self-aware. That's crazy.
yeah, you know what though? Like as mids as our podcast can be, I was watching the Met Gala live stream last night,
Shit.
the red carpet interviews, and the audio engineers working that red carpet were so bad they might as well have been podcasters. That is the worst audio I've ever heard on a live event. Volume
Mm,
coming in too hot, volume coming in too quiet, mics going all over the place. Like
mhm.
they needed a lapel bad in there. They needed some lapels. And I just thought like, oh, maybe our audio isn't that bad after all.
Wow. So you're telling me the Met Gala has worse audio than Think Fresh podcast? That's actually like
I yeah.
credit to us because I think we're doing a fantastic job of, providing that auditory experience. Check, check, 1 2 1 2.
Check, 1 2. Yeah, absolutely, dude. It was kind of like made me feel like the Met Gala was a little washed, to be honest, because it was like I don't know, just it felt like a furry convention this year, and
Mhm.
um,
You already know it's
and the
washed,
audio was
bro. Dude, we all know it's washed, and it's like confirmed when a roach gets like that much publicity.
mm-hmm.
Like, do you know about the roach that like scurried across the carpet? Like
Yeah,
a
dude.
roach at Subway does not get nearly as much attention because it's expected. But like
Mm-hmm.
the quality of the Met Gala is that of a Subway restaurant at this point.
For sure. Between like the Roach and Jared Leto's fit, it's like they need to rename it the Pet Gala.
Yeah, dude. Oh, fuck. I mean, I can just picture like someone in that same costume ordering a sandwich as well and like getting like spilling Southwest sauce like on their fucking white fur. Like
Yeah, dude. And then
you already see that shit happening.
they have to lick it off like a cat cleans itself. No napkin necessary.
Mhm. I have like an issue with these like celebrities that just are hired to like look hot. You know what I mean? It's
Mm,
like we don't need fucking the guy from like what's that show, The Last of Us, to
hmm.
be dressed in like shorts and like a red coat. Like we just like don't like just put on a normal suit and like just live your life, you know what I mean? We don't need to like you don't need to make a statement that your stylist wants to like throw on you, you know?
Yeah, totally. What's his name? Pedro Pascal? Is that it?
Yeah,
I think.
but
Yeah, like
Papa.
Poppy Pascal. Honestly, though, his fit was giving something. I was found myself
Giving me
attracted
a
to the
heartache.
fit. Yeah, heartache. Why did he pull that off so well? I don't know, but he didn't need to. You're
Pulled
right.
it off.
Like I don't need these types of feelings in my body.
No, I don't. and his like underage companion from the show, who like plays
Mm,
an underage character, I guess, but isn't actually. I don't really know. Like she's wearing like some crazy fucking bedazzled fit. Like, why is this interesting? Like I've like lost interest in it completely. We need more like rappers and like NBA players in it. That's like all we really want to see.
that's a good call. That's a good call. Um, I think maybe the theme didn't help because, like, I don't know. I feel like they should be picking themes that are more and more obscene in order to like keep up with our like attention span.
Hmm.
And they picked a
Hmm.
theme that was overall fairly conservative, fairly refined. Uh, like if they picked like edibles, that would be an interesting theme.
Yeah, that would be fascinating. But at the same time, I'm going to politely disagree with you, Ty. I think it should be as pared down as possible to like alienate those people who are like seeking attention. Like Doja Cat should not be invited. Like, why is she still relevant? No one cares about her. Someone else made a
Mhm.
song called Doja Cat. That's why Doja Cat's invited.
Yeah, it's because people like us are still talking about her on our media platforms.
Mhm. Where's like the podcast awards, Ty? Is there like a Grammys for like audio engineers like us? We're audio
Oh yeah,
engineers, right?
we should talk to our rep from Spotify about this and see if there is anything happening there because I'm ready for
Hmm.
my red carpet moment.
Hmm. That's right. Spotify Labs wanted us, but we said no.
Hmm.
We said, show us the bag. You know, if you don't fly us out, we're not interested. So,
Hmm.
you know, pay up.
Yeah, definitely. I'd rather they bring the lab up north to us, you know?
Hmm. Absolutely. Got to bring the whole set. You know what I mean?
And so I don't pull up to the Met.
Exactly.
Cool.
Well,
Well, on
Ty.
that note, Eric, I think we're overdue for some fun in the sun. So,
Oh, absolutely, Ty. It is a toaster out there, and I'm ready to show it my buns.
wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Thank you, breadheads, for listening to what Eric just said. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. Follow us on Instagram. Give us a big ol' heart on the listening platform that you chose. And we'll catch you next week. Think fresh, everybody.
Peace.